customer has always been the center of our business focus. Involving them in the design cycle is a great idea. Minimizing material consumption, either is water or energy, would be an important part of a designer's toolkit.
So innovation does not flow one direction.
You cannot design product without doing need finding.
Sustainability is an opportunity and not a constraint. So hello and welcome to this special conversation on innovation, where innovation is not just a buzzword but a living and evolving practice at Forbes Marshall. I'm Amod. I head the design function here, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by a special person whose leadership sits at an intersection of engineering, special insights, and human insights. Datta Kuvalekar, who is our co-CEO. So welcome, Datta, to the podcast.
Thank you, Amod. It's always a pleasure to talk to our design head and get new ideas.
We are very happy to host you. So today we really want to talk about innovation and how we sort of do it within Forbes Marshall. So we'll try to unpack this conversation with sort of three dimensions. One is how we sort of really look at our approach towards our customers and markets. The second would be our internal processes and manufacturing processes, and how we sort of innovate in those areas. And third is the quintessential R&D, and we will also touch upon how sort of design plays a pivotal role within doing future-ready product solutions. So before we get into these conversations, I wanted to really ask you, what do you think innovation in a company like Forbes Marshall, which is known for its engineering practice and customer intimacy, means, right?
I think it's a very, very challenging question to ask this at the start of the discussion. I think the point here is that if you look at the reason why Forbes Marshall does innovation, I think it probably is going back to its purpose of trying to energize our own businesses and communities worldwide. And I think if you have to energize something, you have to have something new constantly being put into the system. And I think Forbes Marshall sees innovation as a mechanism to kind of help the larger community and the business improve its operations or improve its life or society at large. And we see innovation as a mechanism to deliver that benefit. So I think the word benefit is what comes at the base of any innovation conversation in our own organization. So I think Forbes Marshall sees this as one of the ways in which we can deliver this value to our company, our customers, and to our businesses also. So I think that's really where I think the purpose is really. So I think innovation for us is not just doing something for innovation's sake, but it is for making sure that we make something new that will add value to our customers, add value to our society, and we deliver something that people will really cherish for a long, long time.
So I'm glad you sort of put it that way, because when you look at a very broad definition of innovation, what people generally understand is revolves largely very much only about products, right, and patents.
I think the innovation is, if you look at the traditional definition of innovation, it's always been something new for commercial gain.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's been the traditional, and it's a very limited definition given where we are in the world today. I think companies need to adopt a larger, broader perspective of what innovation can add value to various stakeholders in the system, not just only customers. Because eventually it will be, let's say in our own company, we have been working with, let's say, educational institutes for many years. Now, why do we do that? Because we feel that they are one of the key stakeholders of innovation. They can't be excluded. They are going to be our customers eventually. So I think the whole ecosystem has to be looked at when you're driving innovation, and you can't just say that it's only customers. So I think to Forbes Marshall, I see this as a complete chain of impact that can be made if you have a broader definition of innovation, not just a restrictive one of new for commercial gain in a sense.
So I mean, that means that it's just going beyond commercial gains and adding benefit and value to society at large.
Yes.
Is a very nice way to sort of put across what innovation really stands for. And I think today's world, it is very important to look at it in that perspective. So while we sort of look at innovation as a larger perspective, right? Forbes Marshall is also known very much for its customer intimacy.
That's right. Yes.
And the way sort of it approaches our customers with value propositions rather than only products. So do you think that that aspect or that sort of understanding of innovation that you spoke has really changed how we approach our market and our customers specifically?
So I think if you look at what Forbes Marshall has been doing for many, many years, in fact, is that customer has always been the center of our kind of, business focus in a sense. It never been that, okay, here is the technology that Forbes Marshall has, and then now we have to find out applications. So it's always been the reverse, that we have been going into processes, we have been going into the industry and then saying, what does that process or industry need? What's the gap? What will they benefit from? How will they save energy? What can improve the energy efficiency? So many of these questions have actually come back to kind of define what we can do to either conceptualize a product or a service, or any kind of offering that we have got. So I think if you look at our approach to, let's say, the market, yeah, we have always had an approach where we say that we will go and actually visit customers.
Yeah.
Now the idea is, okay, it's very obvious to somebody, okay, if you have to get business, you have to visit customers.
Exactly.
But that's not the end of the story. I mean, the visit customer part is not just sitting at the purchase engineer's table and gathering the inquiry or the document that says that our guys have to go into the plant, explore the plant, identify where are the gaps, and that is being done consistently by every engineer in the field every day. And that kind of mammoth set of data and information is being utilized by the organization to come up with new concepts and new offerings. Now, some of them might not necessarily be requiring R&D innovation in a sense, but they are constantly innovating in conceptualizing small packages or systems or offerings that can go into a customer plant and give customer the benefit. So I think that the concept of innovation to us is not just limited to an R&D unit sitting in Forbes Marshall, but it is across the whole organization in a sense. Anybody can innovate in a sense, and everybody should innovate is also a mantra. But I think largely it is, how do we really innovate and provide our customers the best of what we do. Really. So I think this is where the driving force comes from.
So, I mean, it's very interesting that you mentioned that, this sort of differentiated approach that we take. So, what you are sort of mentioning is it does not only translate into innovative products within R&D, but also translates into innovation across how we approach our customers.
Innovative services, for example, how do you really conceptualize? If you look at what you see there as the package, now that didn't come from an R&D engineer thinking through what is to be done. It came from a problem with the customer. And it came from a pharma industry where there was a reactor where you had to actually, kind of provide a solution to a condensate recovery problem. It could come from as mundane as observation as that to, something that you're doing now on heat pumps, which is a technology that's coming forward, and how do you find applications for it? So I think understanding the customer is the key to our business really. And therefore you see that our company insists on making sure that every field engineer visits customer 18 times a week.
Oh, okay.
Or has to make 18 visits a week, which is quite a challenging task. But we believe that's the currency of our data in a sense. And if we don't do that, we will stop becoming an innovative company because all the information flows from those visits. I'm sure that it's also being interpreted and analyzed at different points in the one. So it's not just the field engineer but he's the starting point. He's the catalyst. And to me, that is the kind of the mechanism by which the organization thrives.
So that's like an input to every sort of innovation that happens all around.
I mean, it is a key source of innovation. I would not say that ideas don't come from other places. They do. And sometimes you may need those ideas too, because you don't have to constantly be linear in a sense. So you can have non-linear thinking coming in R&D, you can have in manufacturing, service, for example. You could have ideas, but all of them stem from the fact that are they delivering value to the organization, to the customer, and are they benefiting? Because that is the most sustainable approach to innovation. Otherwise, you might innovate on something, and we have many examples of that in our organization where there have been innovations which have been done, I would not have to tell you that, but there are many innovations that have happened which have not delivered value. And we had to kind of, but there are many which have delivered value and have sustained over years. So I think the FEMAX, for example, which you have been very much involved in, has delivered value consistently because it addressed a key need of the customer to know what is boiler efficiency and what can it do to help improve boiler operations. So I think this is, to me, the crux of the innovation philosophy that a company has, that look at the customer, make the customer the focus of your effort, really.
So this also means that sort of this differentiated approach, right? Having very close relationship with our customers, not only at the commercial table, but also in his process itself. This is also sustainable, right? I mean, that will sort of sustain innovation all across. So, but we know it's pretty well known that you need to have a good customer engagement and intimacy right? But I feel beyond that, do you feel there is more value and benefit in involving customers in within the innovation that we do? I think we've tried that
I remember many years
sometimes.
ago when I first joined the organization, we used to have something called design reviews.
Yeah.
And these were design reviews held for, products which are coming out or being launched. And we used to actually at that point when design or innovation thinking wasn't really so well developed in India, we used to invite our customers to the design reviews. So
Oh,
we had
okay.
made our customers a part of the design review process. One might call it, no, okay, but you are giving customers too much information. But we found that at some point of time that balances out. I mean, you might give him information, but he also feels valued and you get inputs which are so valuable. So we actually developed many systems using customer inputs, and customers were part of the design iteration cycle really. So I remember that we had developed this whole thermocompressor system, and it was meant for a certain industry base. And if we didn't get those input before we launched the product, I mean, we would be hitting ourselves in the foot. So I think we benefited a great deal from defining turndowns, from defining capacities, from defining systems and safety mechanisms of what will help that. So I think customers come with very practical. Sometimes they may say what they want, and that's where the skill is that you differentiate between what he wants and what he needs.
Yeah.
But also give him due regard for what he thinks his plant actually needs at that point of time. So I think customers as a key part is involving them in the design cycle is a great idea. And I think we can do better with it. And I think today although we go to customers, we don't get customers to visit us as often as we should be.
As often as we should, yeah.
And I think that's an area for us to work on. And I think many companies will benefit from involving customers in the design cycle, really.
So innovation is not, does not flow one direction.
I think it has to be bidirectional.
It benefits with that interaction.
I would say multidirectional in a sense. I would say. Yeah.
So there has to be interaction for sort of innovation
absolutely.
to benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing, I mean, so that's the sort of access point, right? That's the customer reach and our approach where, very critical, important aspect of our innovation. But obviously to, get to there, our manufacturing and processes also have to be, really capable and ready to be able to deliver that kind of innovation. I mean, if we sort of talking to customers a lot more, I mean, like you said, they'll sort of tell you what they want.
That's right.
Sometimes you also have to suffice their needs, which are here and now, and sometimes also which are slightly more long term.
That's right.
This sort of puts a lot of back end pressure within our systems to be able to deliver that kind of variety at speed. So how do you see that that innovation aspect getting translated within manufacturing and processes, how we work together? Any sort of examples from the shop floor that you have seen, that any initiatives that
so if you look at what as a company, I mean, this has been I think I've been in manufacturing for the last 4 years now, and I think one of the things I constantly hear is, there's such a wide variety of products we make.
Yeah.
I mean, now, is that a boon or is that a curse? Yeah, and one might say from manufacturing angle, one might say that, manufacturing
really
needs very limited, large volume. That is a traditional view of manufacturing. Yeah. But I think manufacturing methodology has also changed over years. And as you said, what we have implemented now in the last 4 years is what is known as a cellular approach to manufacturing. That means your product cells are laid out in such a way that you can actually adapt to different product lines if required at any given point of time. And a given cell can look at a wide range of products in that range itself. Okay. So the cellular manufacturing has been one approach to kind of addressing the problem of flexibility in manufacturing. You had earlier flexible manufacturing system, FMS. Kind of an offshoot of that is a flexible manufacturing cellular approach, which is what we have been now adopting in our factories in Jharkhand. Now, I hopefully it expand to other factories too, but this is the starting point. Even in Singapore factory, we have a cellular approach. And the idea is to use this approach to make sure that we are able to adapt to varying volumes and varying types of products coming in.
Yeah. A lot of variety
can be catered. So I think variety will be, and that's one of the things of customer intimacy. Any customer who feels that we are making a product for him or her would feel extremely energized by the fact that, this company works very closely with us. And then that's what we call mass customization, right?
Exactly.
That's what So I think in a sense, we are trying to tackle the mass customization problem by laying out a factory in a way that will help. And that be supported by technology also, for example. So let's say we have got a smart manufacturing system that provides data as to what's been done at what time, is what kind of materials and inventory. So all that comes into play.
Yeah.
It's definitely a system that has to be optimized. Yeah, but it is a way of the future that customers will expect you to make the product that they want at their plant. And it's the challenge in the manufacturing end to meet that customization requirement without feeling burdened or without becoming unproductive. Yeah. So one of the things that our company is looking at is how do we improve the manufacturing productivity or the people productivity,
Yeah.
without causing all these ill effects of, I would say, burdening the system with excessive customization that might consider as a load. And I think that is something that we're doing through lean manufacturing. That means you actually have a single piece flow. As it runs through the factory, we procure material for that single piece and you actually manufacture, assemble the product and test it and send it out. So you create a kind of flow of the factory, which will lead to better and more efficient manufacturing and allows you to do single piece in a sense. So that's the challenge in a sense. Yeah.
So it's like combining the best of sort of both the worlds, right? Lean is something that you require for a very single piece mass flow, mass manufacturing, whereas you sort of take this FMCLI or whatever the cell is and also build in variety into it.
So I'll give you an example of this condensate recovery system that you built, that you designed, right, for the sugar industry. Now, what was it? It was actually, you built a Taj Mahal for this customer in some part of India. I mean, but there you will build many more Taj Mahals.
Yeah.
Now, the customer who got this, a sugar plant in India, would probably think that, yes, this is being customized for him.
Yes, exactly.
And because the capacity, the flow rates, the number of pumps that you had in that system, all were kind of matched to his requirement.
Yeah.
But you had spent a lot of time designing it, and the manufacturing spent a lot of time making it. Yeah,
manufacturing.
It might be considered as customization that you did, which might be in a sense considered unproductive because it did involve a lot of time spent by people at various ends of the company. But eventually, it would have delivered great value in terms of what the customer would benefit from in terms of improving his condensate recovery. So that would all offset the premium that you might get for the design that you invested in. So I think there is always a payoff. How much do you customize? How much do you standardize in a system?
Exactly.
Because manufacturing traditionally is always looked for standardization.
Always will look for this.
I mean, it is hyper efficient. It is ruthless. It is important to be in a sense. But I think our innovation approach kind of says that we have to be flexible with our customers, and that's our approach actually. The ethos of Forbes Marshall is every customer is different. Every customer should be treated with care, and every customer should get his or her value in the benefit. So I think this is what drives our ethos, and therefore we end up taking up all the design load, as you might call it, and the manufacturing kind of burden of customizing a thing, because it is eventually, why I call it a burden, I probably may have used that word a little more often, is that the word burden, because it is, manufacturing is all about efficiency, all about flow. And many times when you customize something, you create a blip in the system.
Yeah.
And we have many blips like this. So but we think it is our culture that we should always listen to the customer, even if it means customization, even if it means taking a little more effort to make things happen, and even deliver a solution that might need extensive site support. Yeah. So that's been the ethos, and customers love it. They love the attention we pay to them, and we also give them enough attention. And that's what is the key to our approach.
Innovative story also.
We don't just sell a standard product and say, now you make use of it, and if you find it useful, take it, but other leave it. We don't do that. We actually live it through the whole cycle. Yeah. So I think our approach has been be with the customer.
So, I mean, both these approaches and manufacturing, right? Do you see digital in sort of process and manufacturing really helping us to leverage this innovation cycle more, or it's sort of it's a journey that has to be taken through?
So you mean digital in manufacturing?
In manufacturing.
I think if you look at our own journey, we have been kind of last 3 to 4 years we are trying to make an IoT connected factory. Now, what does that do? It only tells us in terms of how our machines are being utilized, what kind of defects have been observed in the plant, and it also optimizes the material flow in terms of how material moves. So to me, in a sense, it kind of helps define the entire manufacturing cycle of any product that you might launch. For example, let's say you launch a new product in the next 2 weeks or something. Uh, it will give you a good idea as to what will it take
to get
to
it off the ground.
manufacture the product in the defined time frame. Yeah, so the digitization of the manufacturing process has definitely helped us improve data, which will feed into our ability to develop new products in the future. Because that is all recorded data, it's information
Yeah.
that's available. So it will help feedback in the process and improve efficiency also at the same time. So I think towards the IoT connected factory is about creating a more harmonized system where data can be used as the point for feedback processes. Yeah. So I think, and also improving our own capacity, for example. So I think if you look at the example of the new fabrication factory that we built, uh, I mean, we have enough work there and enough automation that's been done with robotics and with laser cutting machines and all that. And it gives us ability to challenge the design now. For example, you can make whatever shape you want.
Whatever we want. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a normal factory would not have been able to do that.
Yes.
And the reason that we were investing in that technology and in the IoT connected factory is now giving you a chance to innovate in ways that you could probably not think earlier. So another thing I also believe that I think the manufacturing has now kind of upgraded itself substantially and given us a leverage in design that design can now challenge manufacturing to do better. So I think this is a very nice virtuous cycle that you keep investing in design, you keep investing in manufacturing, and you make sure that the two challenge each other and manufacture better and design better in a sense.
So that in sense sort of we remove all the most important constraints out of the value chain delivery, so that now we are able to deliver more value.
Sure. Only I would say that when we are designing product, of course we should keep the entire thing that we just talked about a few weeks ago on sustainability. And that applies to manufacturing too, that when we manufacture stuff, we should be fairly sustainable in our practices. And design sustainability and manufacturing sustainability are part of the same overall ecosystem. So I think we should keep that in mind while we are designing or manufacturing anything in the process.
So I mean, now moving to traditional sort of innovation, where people sort of say that divisions like R&D, right, where traditional innovation sort of happens a lot.
Yes.
Sort of, do you see just the traditional R&D evolving because of how our approach is, and because of the latest digitization also? Do you see innovation in R&D evolving, or how do you see it evolving?
I think if you look at the basic function of R&D, as you know, is to innovate. I mean, it's dharma in a sense. I mean, it has to do that. And I also meant that innovation also happens across other areas of the organization. So it's not that limited to R&D, but R&D plays an important role of plugging into the outside world, of being able to marry the outside technologies that are available for us to choose from and to bring it into the organization. So I think R&D has a role to play there. And digitization of anything that is there is bringing us more information. For example, let's say you are bringing in information about boiler efficiency. Can it help you design better boilers? It might. It would.
Definitely will. Yeah.
So let's say you're getting a steam trap connected to a temperature and a conductivity sensor, trying to tell you what is happening on trap leakages. Now, will it help you develop a better trap? It would. So I think data and digitization is helping the innovation process by giving us much more intelligence that we didn't have earlier. And today you can actually see real time, what we call as data that comes on a dynamic basis is coming much more in larger volumes. Now it's our ability to interpret the data and use it as a feedback loop for improving designs and our engineering is something which we have to work on. But it is an important opportunity. We should treat digitization as a tool to improve our design processes and R&D processes, I would say. And I think R&D has a role to play there. That means whatever you design today has to have a feedback loop. That means you have to have sensors embedded into your product that will give you feedback for better design. So it's a very important cycle that one should miss. That earlier I remember we used to treat, the sensors can be done in phase 2 or phase 3. Today it has to be there. I mean, on day one. And that's when you start relaying information back to you, which can lead to more iterative designs eventually. So I think, to me, the digitization and the traditional R&D have actually merged together to give us and customers better control on the processes, really. So I think that they are really both essential, I would say, in this new digital world, as you might call it, in a sense.
So that will also help them sort of, look at future-proofing, innovation or products too.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it will probably tell you what the trends are
Yeah.
in the plant, for example. It'll probably tell you what could be improved in the process and develop solutions that the customer also may not actually know about. So I think it is an important input to the whole intelligence that R&D would need to get of how to run plants successfully. So that's really, I think, a very important point that you raised about digitization and R&D and traditional
Exactly.
R&D evolving into a digital kind of a R&D sense. Yeah, so if you look at, we are in our own R&D,
Yeah.
we have a large team that works
Yeah.
on
On
digitization of
digital.
products.
Yes.
And we see that as an important future trend going into anything that we do. Yeah. So example, earlier we used to pride that every product we personally go and inspect.
Yes.
Yeah. The new trend is that you might not need to physically inspect anything. You will
Yeah.
get data that tells you what's happening. So that is an evolving trend that will happen. That digitization is going to converge at some point in time with all our traditional practices and evolve into a better, efficient way of doing things for the future.
So do you see like this sort of digitization really changing the way we offer our customers? Traditionally, it's always been for most of the in engineering field, it's always been products, right?
Yes.
Do you see this sort of changing to different modes of offering, and will this sort of drive further innovation forward? Maybe like services or any form of services.
So as you know, we are placing big bets on the whole digital business as a
Yeah.
company, as you know, and that stems from the conviction that if we get the right data and if we interpret the right data, we might come up with the right insights that will help the customer save much more. So we have a benefit of how can we save 10% every year in every customer's plant, and that will come from a deep understanding of the customer's plant itself. But the data that is there, which is coming from these intelligent products, would help us really build that confidence.
Yeah.
Really, so I think the company does look at the digital business as a key driver of our growth in the coming years, and that is basically where this thing is that R&D, manufacturing, digitization, and the customer set has to all come together to drive an integrated approach to using data as a means of innovation really going forward. So I think they're not separate buckets.
Yeah.
They will all feed. So manufacturing also has to develop abilities to make digitized products. And I remember
Exactly.
the way we are set up in manufacturing also has to be different. If we are to have competence of the right kind of having embedded sensors in a trap, for example,
Yeah.
we have a product called a mechanical steam trap. Today we have a smart trap.
Yeah.
How does the same set of people work on the smart trap and provide the same kind of product performance and develop new expertise? So I think I would say digitization is a major thrust area, and the company is placing kind of its confidence in the future growth coming from this segment, I would say.
So, I mean, so we spoke about digitization, manufacturing, customer approach, and R&D. But as we all know, Forbes Marshall also has been an early adopter of design.
Yes.
Very early. I think it should be more than 30 years
Yeah,
when design
yeah,
was barely known
that's right.
within the country.
Yes.
So, I mean, why would be the first question. And do you see over the years it sort of evolving as a catalyst of innovation just in R&D across organization or?
So I think when I joined this organization 35 years ago, I mean, the first person I met was a designer from Stanford.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that time it was really quite unique that to a company, an engineering company, a traditional engineering company, having
even today it is unheard of.
Well, today it's at least it's much more talked about. At least implemented not is a different matter, but at least at that time when I joined the organization 35 years ago, it was quite unique. But at that time, the ethos was that design is a powerful mechanism to provide, very elegant, crafted products to the customer. So it was really coming from that angle. How do we make our engineering products look neater, better, elegant, and they can make the customer feel that he's got a high quality product made in India.
Yeah.
So I think design provided that kind of a platform for Forbes Marshall to really invest in design, because getting designers from the US at that time was not easy.
Yeah.
It was not easy both from a administrative perspective as well as from a cost perspective.
Yeah.
The company was that large, but we had to do it because and we did get many good products. And more than the products, it actually instituted a learning that how do you make good quality, greatly crafted products. And this culture of or the intolerance to bad design got ingrained from that. I'm not saying everything was perfect. It's taken many years. Today, if you look at what we are doing today, I think it has come a long way
Yeah.
in terms of where we have started from. And today, if you look at our most of our products, there's an element of design thinking in each of those products. It's reflected in the way they are manufactured. It's reflected in the way they are, proportioned in a sense,
Yeah.
the way they are painted. It's a lot of thought that has gone into it. And I think this care and thought has come over years of investment in pushing design, the design approach, in the minds and feelings of our own members.
Members.
I would say, and whether in design R&D or whether in field or whether in manufacturing, I think people have absorbed that need. It can be greatly improved. I do believe that we can have eons of improvement in what we do, but
Yeah.
I think we have come a long way. I think so. I feel particularly happy that when people look at design today in Forbes Marshall, we kind of match most advanced economies
Yeah.
in terms of design. The challenge is, how do you sustain that? How do you build on it? How do you build that intolerant culture for poor design practices
Yeah.
in every aspect of the organization? Is something we have to keep plugging at it. It's not an easy win immediately, but it is a culture that we'll have to keep
of
building
build
on. So I think
over.
design has been and will be the ethos of what we will constantly be pushing really.
So it definitely is a catalyst.
Yeah.
I mean, like you aptly put it, it sort of transformed the culture over the period of time with the designs that you sort
Yes.
of put in. Uh, you know,
And there's one more point, sorry, I forgot to mention about the need finding. The whole idea of, the design instituted a very important part that you cannot design products without doing need finding. And remember,
Yes.
you used to have this constant kind of, push that have we done need finding for this product and what have we found? What are the insights? Have we missed something out? So this kind of insatiable thirst for knowing what the needs are is one of the key aspects of a design process. And I think we have tried to make that much more visible in our design of a product. And that to me is one of the key areas also which can differentiate Forbes Marshall from the rest of what is happening in the industry, is that we are designing product that customers would need.
Yeah.
Not just want today, but need for the next 3 to 5 years, for example. So I think this is, I would say, a differentiator.
I'm good that you sort of pointed out need finding. It's not just like only the tangible needs. Yeah, what we've been doing over the past years is not only look at tangible needs but also look at intangible needs, which eventually add a lot of value
That's
that
right.
we spoke about
That's
early
right.
on. So I think that is something that need finding
There's
also
this famous story
brings in.
that you must have heard also of the flash jet pump.
Yes.
That customers are buying not because it functions as a condensate pump, but because it just looks good.
Yeah, it
I
looks
mean,
good.
now that's the story that is going around the market, that some customers buy FJPs just because it looks nice and it can be placed in the factory to make their customers feel more interested in the factory. So I think it's good design.
It's good design.
It's elegance speaking for itself. It's sophistication speaking for itself. So I think these
And
are
that's
good
also a
things.
good example of intangible needs converted to a product. So
Yeah, it's an intangible need of a customer to feel better about his plant.
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So when you speak about design and innovation, a primary thing aspect to it is mind shift change, right? We could do a lot of things as tasks as a part of innovation, but what really makes the largest impact is are these mind shift changes within people who are doing at innovation, not just within R&D, but also within our manufacturing, also within our people who are customer facing. So do you see that there is a mind shift change over the years towards innovation, may it be due to design thinking, may it be because of systems engineering or anything, but how do you see the mind shift change towards innovation, and what's the impact of that largely?
I think there are many forces that are driving this change. One is, of course, the fact that we have to survive in a highly competitive market. I mean,
Yeah.
Steam, earlier, many years ago, we were the market leaders, and we are still the market leaders. But there are other choices customers have. So I think we have to respect that customers have choices, and if we do not provide them with the most kind of the optimal choice that meets their needs, we would probably fail in the market, right? But we haven't done that. So we haven't failed in the market, and that's the reason why we haven't failed is because we are constantly kept in touch with the customer.
Yeah.
And that need has actually been ingrained into our into our system in a sense, yeah. And it's kind of across the entire organization that it has gone into. So I think I would say that we, in a sense, believe that there is great merit in ensuring that this whole innovation thing is the mindset shift, as you called it, would kind of percolate to everybody in the organization, because everybody wants to be in a learning in a growing organization.
Yeah.
I think, and therefore I think over the years, as I've experienced it, I think the sensitivity of our members towards good design, towards good practices that encourage sustainability have been enhanced actually, and got better. So I think that it's not that we can claim victory, but we are much better than many companies in our business. So I think we should pride ourselves in the fact that our members are definitely exposed to good design practices. They are living in a environment where they see good design. Of course, when you go out on the road and see the potholes, you may not feel that way. But yeah, it's a thing that's a dichotomy that has to be addressed in India, because
in India.
you see lots of things outside of your factory where, and then you come to the factory and you build world-class products. So I think there's a lot of work to be done, without doubt, as India, as a country and as a society. But at least and we always said that we are trying to be a developed company in a developing country.
Yeah.
So at least within the environments of a system boundaries, I think we are trying our best to change the mindset and improve that. It's a work in process. I won't say that everything is perfect, but I think I see an improving focus on design thinking, getting better at producing high quality products, and being intolerant to poor design in a sense, and not just in design R&D in the sense, or even let's say design teams in manufacturing or in service. So people have become much more aware of what is good. And see, and today with India being open to the world market, you have exposure to what's available across the world, I'm saying. So that's another force that is acting on consumers in the sense, and our own members in the sense that they are seeing good design come to India. So their needs and their expectations are also going up, and that's for customers too. Customers also expect great design.
Great design.
You can't say that I'll do what I made 20 years back today, and you expect to sell it better. You will not. So you will have to evolve. I mean, the mindset shift has to happen, and it's happening. So I think it's a mandatory thing that you have to live with the changing times. You can't live in the past anymore. You learn from the past, but don't live in the past.
Yeah. So, Forbes Marshall is also very well known with the term process energy conservation.
Yes.
Right? And sustainability has everyone knows sustainability is going to be the next big thing that will drive maybe growth in the coming years. Definitely, there are a lot of targets on sustainability. Do you see Forbes Marshall poised with the background of energy conservation and sustainability driving innovation in our chosen sector?
So I think if you look at the basic, the basic kind of the deliverable of a business is delivering energy savings.
Yeah.
To me, that's the lowest hanging fruit of any sustainable strategy. I mean, you can design many things, you can do many more things for sustainability, but to help improve the energy consumption will help reduce the carbon footprint of the product.
Yeah.
So I think by design of a business, I think we are already in the business of insuring ourselves against anything that is non-sustainable in a sense. So I would say that's first thing, but not resting on those laurels. I would say we have to do a lot more in reducing the carbon footprint of our own manufactured products. So that's an important part, whether it's in choice of material, whether it's in choice of the quantity of material that you use, the kind of packaging you do, the kind of colors and paints you use.
Processes maybe.
So all that will have to go through a lot of optimization process. And we are right now in the starting point of a process where we are really looking at each product and saying, what is the carbon footprint of that product? And that is a process that is started. And I think is without doubt that going forward, if you are looking at net zero that we are talking about, as a country, 2070, we have to be net zero. As a company, we are saying we should try to be net zero earlier and not wait till 2070. So the sustainability strategy is intrinsically integrated into our business strategy, where we are saying that we must save customers 10% every year, and every customer. That by itself says that we're trying to be sustainable. and trying to reduce it. Now, one can say that one can argue that energy efficiency is one piece of the sustainable strategy.
But very important
But
piece.
it is the most
Yeah.
the available tool available to customers to do it at the most cost-effective way. Yeah. So it's the lowest hanging fruit. So I think while we should definitely have more exotic stuff like carbon capture and sequestration and many things that are going on, they're all interesting technology, and we are going to be part of it. Remember, but we should not get diverted from the fact that there are many small things that can be done to harness sustainability in Indian process industry or in the global process
In the
industry.
global.
I'm saying, wherever we are, that will remain the need of. So how do you get regular energy savings from everyday processes? And that is a big contributor.
No, I mean, with sustainability as a goal that we have also taken up internally,
Yes.
I think it's going to drive a lot of innovation not only within products, like you mentioned about carbon footprinting, and how we can look at materials differently,
That's right.
how we can look at our manufacturing processes differently. I think that will also be going forward a big source of
That's right.
innovation going forward. So, I mean, on this whole background, where do you see Forbes Marshall innovation sort of heading in the next sort of 10 years?
You're trying to make me into an astrologer, but I'm not sure of that answer. But I would probably say that, I mean,
At least which direction you would sort of see?
so I think look at, let's say, what we are trying to look at is an holistic view of the process of the customer, and then saying that, okay, what will it take to deliver a wholesome energy saving package, not just looking at aspects of it. Yeah. So I think given that we are rightly placed in terms of having a combined knowledge of instrumentation and steam, can we provide customers with a complete solution for his plant? So we can kind of become the customer's energy manager, in a kind of way that says that, okay, we'll not just look at his energy footprint, look at his carbon footprint, look at his water footprint, and we try to provide business solutions that can lead to an overall sustainability solution for his plant. So I think we might, in a sense, become the sustainability partner for a customer's strategy, and maybe at this point we see it as thermal energy being the main focus, because that's where fossil fuels get consumed. But it might lead to other things, which could lead to process improvements, process efficiency, process technology. These could be all offshoots of the key part, that delivering energy efficiency in a holistic way to customers going forward. That I think would be the next 10 years. And design, I think, would play a key role in identifying the needs of the evolving plant. Yeah. So when, let's say, today's food and beverage plant would be quite different from a food and beverage plant 10 years down the line. But if we are able to predict that technology trajectory of that plant today, we might build those products now. And it may take time to insert them into the plant again, but that's the process of design. But I think our designers would need to invest a lot of time in researching of the future trends in those industries, and plotting the sustainability strategy that they would adopt, using that as an input to the design process. So I think design will have to play a key role. Design, and I would say, in a sense, technology will have to play a key role,
obviously,
in defining and designing those products as we go into the future. So I think next 10 years, I would see that we would increasingly become a bigger partner with our customers, to be a important and critical part of their input process for their own strategies that they're driving sustainability in their plants, really.
So what you sort of implying is that design should actually look at needs, identifying needs, both intangible, tangible needs, and then the technology should be able to evolve in a sense that which can add more value and to be able to suffice those needs. And so both are going to play an equal amount of share on how. I mean, all the goals, may it be sustainability goals, may it be energy conservation goals, which should be.
Absolutely. So I think they are going to be important. I think the whole idea of closely working with the customer on sustainability is, I think, a very good way. And we, I think, started doing that in many industries now. And not just energy, but water. So both energy and water would be the thrust areas in the future for any process plant, really. There are other things like, process efficiency, yield, safety, all of the things that anyway get captured into our design processes. But the aspect of making sure that we are minimizing material consumption, either is water or energy, would be an important part of a designer's toolkit going forward. So I think I would say that there's a lot of scope there.
Yeah. So I it looks like sustainability is going to be a biggest driving factor in all the things that we do, and going forward, even customers sort of demanding,
Yes.
trying to achieve their sustainability
That's
targets.
right. Yes.
So that will be a
Sure.
driving force for our sort of innovation, which can be fueled by technology
Yeah.
and design both.
Last week we had a visitor from the US who
Yeah.
came and talked to us about how we are designing products, and I think we added sustainability
as a
opportunity and not as a
opportunity.
constraint.
Yes.
So I think the language has changed now.
I think that's the mindset
The mindset shift
change
that we are looking at. That now, how do you shift from seeing that as a constraint? Earlier, we used to see it as, okay,
As
if I
a
have to be sustainable, I have to
constraint,
reduce material consumption. How do I do it? Will I meet the pressure temperature requirements? Today, it's not the case. Today, we think we definitely will meet that.
So
but keep
sustainability
that
is
in
an
focus.
opportunity and not a constraint.
So we have changed the design process. That we have now
Yeah.
made sustainability as an overarching
Yes.
kind of umbrella under which we operate with all those criteria of
All the
design that we
design
have.
criteria.
So I think it's a good mindset change that we're trying to drive within our own technical teams. So it's a good thing.
So innovation definitely has to start with. I mean, if you want to sort of do innovation, it has to start with customer and Mindshift change.
Yes.
I think it's good that we sort of touched upon both. How to sort of
Sure.
interface with our customer, and how sort of innovation really sort of picks up the start point,
Sure.
and then how sort of to deliver innovation, you really will need
That's right.
a Mindshift change.
Sure. And it's a discussion of another time, I think.
Yeah. Maybe we
Yeah,
can
surely.
have another time where we
Sure.
can discuss more in detail specific certain sections of innovation.
Sure.
No, but it was fun chatting with you. We could manage to touch upon
Sure.
many aspects of our process. So thanks a lot.
And pleasure talking to you.
I hope you've gained some valuable insights out of this discussion. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and this podcast will be available on all other podcasting platforms. Thanks a lot.